Hi, I'm James. I'm doing something a little different to what I typically feature on my channel, and today I'm taking a look at the Codemasters title DiRT Rally. I'd always been a really big fan of the earlier Codemasters Rally games, such as the original Colin McRae. I think 2005 was the last of that before it moved to the DiRT Rally titles. Loved DiRT 2, played that all the way through, including getting to that sort of Pikes Peak IndyCar style car. Was never a big fan of DiRT 3. I felt that focused a bit too much on the Gymkhana and similar sort of more racy settings. So running sort of the rally stage, I'm just taking part in a championship on the game at the moment here, and this is, we're in Rally Finland in the old Minis. And I'll apologise for the slightly iffy driving. It's surprisingly difficult to do this and talk at the same time, particularly since the system I'm actually playing on is my main capture system, so it's also doing the recording at the moment. But I have to say I've really been enjoying what I've been playing of DiRT Rally so far. It's very different in feel to DiRT 3 in that and certainly DiRT Showdown, where the focus is back onto rally driving rather than Gymkhana or Destruction Derby style events. So you're not getting judged on your ability to drift here, you're getting judged on your ability to throw a car down a rally stage as fast as possible. And I'm playing this on a Logitech G27 setup. I'm only using the paddle shifters and 2 pedals. I do have clutch override turned on, so I can stamp on the clutch if for any reason I want to, but I'm not using the H pattern shifters at the moment, which that goes to demonstrate is probably just as well. And I've got the difficulty turned up fairly high, so I don't have any traction control. I've got a little bit of assistance on the ABS braking, and forced head cam, and these things all give you a slight boost in the amount of money you get by turning up the difficulty level. You can switch them all down to make the game a bit easier, but you can see from sort of the inputs I'm having to make, this is a game where it's not sort of Richard Burns rally levels of difficulty, but it is a game which still challenges the player somewhat. You can see you're going through the corner, making lots of steering inputs, and you feel like the car is actually alive underneath you. It's not sort of an on-rails kind of title. You have to work to get the car down the road. I have fiddled with the pace notes on this a little bit because I've set the calls to be slightly earlier, and that was a mistake. They're actually paced much better as standard. Not that I can really pay too much attention to them while trying to talk. Performance of the game also pretty good. I'm playing this on actually it's an 8-core Xeon system. And because it's got more cores, it's actually clocked lower, and it's not really an ideal gaming processor. But I've got that paired up with a GeForce GTX 680, and typically I'm playing the game at 2560 by 1600 and high detail settings, and that gives me frame rates typically around 50 to 60 frames per second, which is pretty reasonable. I'd love to step up to sort of a GTX 980, or actually at the moment I'm waiting for the new NVIDIA chips before deciding what to go with, just to get things turned up to ultra detail, because this game does look very nice. But I've tested it even on sort of Intel integrated graphics, and you can run it by switching down to lower detail settings even on sort of ultrabook systems. So it's nice that it scales across a range of different machines and gives you options there. There is a built-in benchmark in the game as well, so you can use it to sort of performance test your machine, see how changes in the detail settings are affecting it. But I have to say, overall, my impressions of this game so far have been really positive. I paid, I believe it was £30 for it. It's not cheap at the moment on Steam. I picked it up the other day with 25% off, but they've not been doing sort of big discounts on it. But if you like the old Colin McRae rally games, fancy a reasonably hardcore rally title that isn't just focused on all the sort of periphery stuff, it's a fantastic title from what I've experienced so far, and I'd really recommend taking a look at it. Now that I've just finished that, we can now, because I was on stage 2 of a rally there, by going on stage 3 we can just take a look at some of the setup options. I will say frame rates during this recording are somewhat hurt by the fact I'm video capturing as well, so at the minute I'm only getting sort of 30 frames per second. Normally I'd be expecting 50, 60, but obviously the computer's got quite a bit of overhead at the moment. So yeah, here, because we're mid-rally, we have some options to repair the vehicle. We can say we want to see our crew recommendations, so they're saying let's put that into suspension and wheels. And then we also have some setup options, so I like to have the brake bias quite rearward, and sort of quite long gearing, just because I like the car to sort of pivot a bit under braking. I'm not so big on using the handbrake, but because we've unlocked it, we can also go into advanced setup options on these, so we can tweak some of the more advanced settings rather than just this sort of general looser, stronger, longer, shorter kind of settings. So it's nice to have sort of those general setup options, because I'm not one who wants to tweak every last aspect of my suspension. I only play games a couple hours a week, so when I do, I don't want to be taking an exam on suspension setup before I do it. I just want to say I want it to be a bit more oversteery, I want it to be a bit more understeery, and get it set up like that. So it's nice, you can get into it, you can tweak the car without having to have a degree in car engineering to do it. And yeah, great fun title. I hope you found this video interesting. If you'd like to see more like this in the future, let me know, and I'll be sure to try and get more recorded, looking at some of the other games that I have sort of views on. If you do want to see that, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel to see more in the future. Thanks for watching.